platform, the red app that has good morning to my people joining in IG. Welcome, welcome. IG people, they are still warming up to me. That's why I'm like, okay, I need to do it at 3 different places. Let me see. Okay, very good. We are live on all platforms. Welcome to everybody. Welcome to the live. We are live. Let your people know that Coach is live. Today, I have something special to share with you, okay? So it goes like this: how to train your brain to stay consistent. How to train your brain to stay consistent. To train your brain to stay consistent. Even if you always quit. How to train your brain to stay consistent even if you always quit. By the way, if this is your first time being on my live, being on my channel, my name is Shefi. I am a certified identity coach and nervous system research specialist. I help my clients and my followers to stop self-sabotage at the nervous system level in order to build an identity and stay consistent. You see that? Now, the way I go about it, what do I use? I go by biblical principles, neuroscience. Okay, so if this is something that you're not used to, please stick around. You're going to learn few things that are going to help you to have a different perspective. Most of you right now, I believe you might once come across maybe you yourself, right? You have, maybe you know someone who once started something but they never followed through, or you yourself, you have started a project but along the way you got disengaged. If this is you, if this is something that sounds like you, please stay here. I'm going to share my trick, the trick that I share with my clients. I am going to share that with you, okay? And that has helped me, by the way. Now, let me say something that may sound strange at first, okay? Let me say something that may sound strange at first. And of course, this is what we're talking about: how to train your brain to stay consistent, even if you keep starting over. Now, let me say something that may sound strange at first to most people. You do not have a consistency problem. I know you've been told that the reason why you keep starting over is because you are not motivated, right? Or it's because you don't want it bad enough, right? Or because you are not disciplined. And that used to be what I used to hear, especially the motivation part. I used to struggle with that part because naturally I am known as a motivational force. I even earned that name as a motivational force. So whenever I hear that I'm not motivated, I'm like, how is that even possible? And I know some of you've heard this as well. So you keep binging on motivational videos on YouTube, where I am right now. So if you want to watch the replay, you know where to go to. Okay, I just throw that in there, right? But this is the thing though. Because we've been told many times that it's because, we may have a consistency problem. So we keep believing that part. But this is the thing. You do not have a consistency problem. You do not have motivation problem. You do not have discipline problem. You have a restart identity, okay? You have a restart identity. I've always taught on my platform to people that usually join is this: your identity determines everything that you do. Your identity determines everything that you do in life. So most of you, even me, before I step into fully showing up and, not just to start, I was able to break from the chronic starter loop into someone who doesn't just start, but I follow through. So if this sounds like you, if you believe that you're stuck in a level where you only start, but you never follow through, please put 1 in the chat, because I have something that is going to help you. Once I discover that, I'm like, yes, I got it. I'm like, this is the trick I was waiting for. And I've been helping my clients. Most of my clients, this is the problem. They will tell me, Coach, I always start strong, but I disengage. I keep starting over. Maybe you told yourself, I'm going to start Monday. And every Monday, you keep starting over and over. So let me remind you, you do not have a consistency problem. you do not have motivation problem, not even discipline. And I will even add, you are not lazy. But what is happening is you have a restart identity. And the reason you keep quitting is not because, like I said, you're lazy. Okay? It's not because all the reasons that have been given to you. Thank you so much, Fighter. I appreciate you. You are the best. Let's keep tapping. Right? And it's because your brain has been trained to believe that every break means failure. This is what it is. Right now, let's say, especially for someone who has unfortunately developed the habit of quitting on themselves, someone who has developed the habit of not showing up till the end of to have a tangible result. So what it is your brain is trained to keep, whenever you have even a pause in your daily activity, for the brain, that means failure. Most of you right now, that's what you believe, that you don't even have this time to rest. So rest for some of you means failure, okay? Rest for some of you, rest is not failure. Rest is not failure. Rest is not failure. Put that in the chat. Say rest is not failure. Very good, YouTube. Very good, IG, and everybody else. Put in the chat. Thank you so much for the repost. Put in the chat, rest is not failure. And if you're watching this on a replay, put that in the chat as well. Rest is not a failure. And I'm going to base on one biblical scripture that says this: be still and know I am God. I know that scripture has been overused many times. Good job. Rest is not failure. That scripture has been overused, and especially if you are religious people, they use it as they use it as an excuse to cover overthinking. They will tell you, because the Bible says be still. But rest is this: when you rest in God, you are rewiring your brain to have the idea that you need in order to move on further than you're supposed to. But most of you right now, you think rest is failure. So I'm going to say this again. Rest is not failure, okay? It's not failure. Rest is not failure. It's okay to rest. It's okay to rest. It's okay to rest. But what is happening is the brain has been trained for many years to believe that every break means failure. So that's why people will start a project, okay? Many people will get a journal, and then when they buy the journal, they keep starting over and over and over again. This is because the brain has not been taught that you can rest in between the things that you're doing so that you can recalibrate yourself. You're not resting to break from what you're doing, but you're recalibrating yourself. And I know that sometimes we can make things bigger than what they're supposed to, right? For some people, when they hear recalibrate, they will just stay there. Okay, so everything has the positive side and the opposite side. That's why I like teaching on or helping people to break from that loop. Most of you right now, you're stuck in a loop. Okay, so you buy all the journals, you buy the courses, and then you start over. You get motivated, you feel inspired, then you disappear. Then you come back, then you feel shame, then you disappear again. So that is the loop that keeps happening with most people. And right now you're asking yourself, why is this happening? Okay, you're like, you are the problem. And what most people do not realize is this, and what I did not realize is this, right? Every time that I used to say, I'm starting over, or every time that you say, I'm starting over, your brain is recording it. Every single time that you say, I am starting over, the brain is recording it. Every time you say this, I'm someone who always stop. Whenever you think you're someone who always stop, the brain is filing it. The brain hears it and records it. When you speak, that means someone is hearing. And even if there's no one around, your brain is hearing it. So whatever you tell yourself, whatever it is, be divine, positive, opposite, whatever it is. The first witness that is there to hear you is the brain. Please, when you're coming in the live, you know what to do. Keep tapping because we're going to dive in deeper. Okay, this is just the surface. This is just the introduction. When we get to the goal that I usually want us to get to, which is 15K, we're going to dive in deeper. And today I have, I have a tool that is going to help you to break from there. Why do I teach things like this? Why do I help people with this? I used to be a chronic starter. And let me tell you, being a chronic starter comes with a shame. It's called what? The shame spiral. Because you don't understand why it works with other people, but you, it's not working. So I'm going to show you where the loop is. So that's what is happening right now. Thank you for the likes. I'm going to show you the loop, and I'm going to show you a tiny trick that will help you not to keep stuck in the same place that you've been for many years now. We need to break out of that, okay? So when you tell yourself you're someone who stops, and eventually your identity becomes, I'm the type of person who never stays consistent. That is what is playing at the nervous system level, at the subconscious level. That is the language that is playing at the subconscious level, okay? Now the subconscious will push it into your conscious, and whenever you want to move forward, you feel stagnant. This is why some people will say, I am stuck. It's because they are not only stuck at the nervous system level, but also at their word level. Okay? Does it mean that you're not being truthful? No. It doesn't mean that you're not being truthful, but what it is you need to bypass the where the brain is right now. You need to trick the brain. The brain needs a language about you. The brain needs to have a language about you so that the brain can partner with you in order to fulfill your goal and keep showing up. Okay? Now, whenever you say I'm the type of person who never stays consistent, that's what the brain knows about you. That's what the nervous system has about you. So today I'm going to teach you one of the tricks that helped me to completely to come out of that place where I felt like nothing was happening for me, right? And this is the trick that helped me and helped my client to train the brain not to keep starting over, but to start training the brain to continue. So if this is your first time on my page, if this is your first time on my channel, if this is your first time wherever you're watching from, my name is Sheffy. I'm a certified identity coach and nervous system research specialist. I use biblical principles and neuroscience to help you break that, the fact that you don't show up, to break out of that pattern and show up consistently. So welcome to your moment of showing up for yourself, okay? So as I keep going, is there any questions so far? I'm a teacher, I'm a coach, so I do pause in between, okay? Let me check. How are we doing on YTV? How are we doing? How are we doing here? Any questions so far? Okay. Very good, very good, very good. Now, any question, any question? Thank you for the follow. I see you. Thank you so much. So that being said, if you've ever felt like you start strong, then you disappear, you know what to do, but you never do it, or you felt like, I feel lazy, but I know that I'm not lazy, okay? You get motivated, then you lose momentum. You feel shame every time you stop. And you're wondering, how can I train my brain to stay consistent, even though I've noticed this pattern of constantly quitting? Then this live is for you. This moment is for you, okay? This live is for you. This moment is for you. Now I'm going to ask you something, and I want us to engage, okay? By the way, the reason why it's good to engage is this. Whenever you are writing, you're intentionally creating a pause, okay? That pause, that's what helps to regulate the nervous system. On my live, you already know, I don't want it to be treated as, a classroom. Let's all engage. Now, tell me in the comments, in the chat, which one are you? Do you start strong and stop? Okay, I'm putting few things here. Which one are you? Do you start strong and then you stop? Do you overthink a lot? Do you overthink and delay? Right? Do you stay consistent for others, but not for yourself? This used to be my biggest one. Okay? Do you keep restarting your life over and over again? If I keep going, this used to be my identity in 2009. So let me remind you, which one are you? Which one did you identify yourself with? Because all this is going to change, okay? If you start strong and then you stop, you overthink and you delay, right? Number two, you overthink and you delay. You stay consistent for others, but not for yourself. You keep restarting your life over and over again. In 2009, even before 2009, there was a cycle that I kept repeating. There was a cycle that I found myself in, which is a chronic starter. Oh, where did I put oh my goodness. Okay. One moment, guys. Okay. Now, a chronic starter. That's what I was known for. Okay? A chronic starter. And being a chronic starter also comes from where? Perfectionism. Okay? You're never satisfied. You always feel like you want to have it all packed. That's why most of you right now, you're overthinking. By the way, remember the 4 things that I put up and I put my fingers up? That used to be me. That used to be me. I was defined by that. I live from there. I live from that identity. Remember, I told you earlier, most of you don't have consistency problem because you're consistent, not showing up for the things that you don't want, right? But when it comes to the things that you deserve, that you desire, that you know will bring you peace of mind, most people are not consistent for these things. So there is consistency that is being given to other things, but not consistent in the things that your life depends on. So it's not a consistency problem. It's identity problem. Okay? You keep starting over. So here's what most people get wrong. They think consistency is discipline. Okay? I used to think that consistency is discipline. You think consistency is motivation. You think consistency is waking up inspired. I used to believe all these things. And I think motivation is like I have to always be motivated, on fire. But consistency is none of these things. Consistency is identity. And identity determines the choices that you make in life. Okay? Consistency is identity. Your brain is not trying to make you successful. Our brain is not trying to make us successful. Your brain is trying to keep you familiar. I know. Even if that familiar is not what you want, but the brain is trying to keep you familiar. That means if inconsistency become familiar, that's what the brain will bring you back to. Okay? If inconsistency is it's not familiar, is familiar with the brain, that's what the brain will keep bringing you back to. So your brain protects the inconsistency, not because it hates you, but because it knows it. And nature teaches us that, right? What you put in is what you get back. I cannot plant an orange seed and expect to get what? And expect to get mango. Never happen. We can clone, okay? We can clone so that the orange will taste like a mango. An idea of it, but it's not it. So what you plant is what you reap. So if for 25 years, you've been telling yourself, I'm not consistent, and you have even a track record of someone who's never consistent, that is what the brain will keep bringing back to you. So that's why right now you're asking yourself, how can I train my brain to stay consistent? And this is where I'm taking you to. This is where I'm holding your hand to. So that we can, once you know this trick, your 2027 is going to be 2027. Because most of you right now, you are repeating patterns from 2020. Even though you're physically in 2026, Most of you, you're stuck in 2020. You're stuck in 2021, 2022, 23, 24, 25. Oftentimes when I say this, people will say, yes, I am stuck in a specific year. They'll give you that year. So which year are you stuck in right now? Are you trying to repeat the same pattern, or are you trying to repeat the same thing over and over again, hoping to get a different result? We all know that insanity is what? Insanity is waking up the same time. Guess what? Guess what I found? I found it, the eraser, that whatever it is. It's eraser. Okay, I found it. It was right here. Okay, let's go ahead. Now, most of you right now, the insanity is what? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, hoping to get a different result. That's insanity. But that's where most people are stuck at. If it's not working, let's try something else. It's just that maybe you are not aligned to find a solution for now. Once you change, even your environment, it will help you. Hello, 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 hello. I like the way you wrote hello. That's good. Now, your brain is protecting the inconsistency, not because it hates you, because what is familiar. And that's why high-functioning people, they struggle a lot. Okay? That's why high-functioning people, they struggle a lot because they know too much, right? You're smart, very smart, because God doesn't create people that are not smart. You're very smart. You are aware. You help other people. You're there for everybody else but yourself. But privately, you keep disappointing yourself. And that becomes a dangerous loop. You're showing up strong for other people. I'm sorry if I broke on TikTok. A call came in, so maybe you didn't hear me. So let me repeat that again. I said this is why it's very hard for high-functioning people, because they are very smart, okay? They are strong for other people, but they keep disappointing on themselves. So that is the loop. That's the dangerous loop that most people you find yourself in, okay? So the loop looks like this. Let me show you the loop. The loop looks like this. Please follow through and take notes if you're here, okay? Tap on the screen, by the way. This is the loop. The motivation, you're motivated. The first time, you're motivated, you're hyped. You take action. Okay, that's the second one. You drop the ball. Drop the ball. Now, shame. You see that? And then you restart. Restart. So that's the first part of it. Now, what is the loop? Whenever you restart, where do you think you're going? Your restart comes from the motivation. So you restart because you get motivated. So that is the loop that keeps happening every Monday for many people. The loop that you are in right now, this is the loop. I just defined the loop for you. You're motivated because you've been told, okay, you need motivation. So every Monday you get the motivation, you start. You take action. Motivation, you take action, and then life happens. Remember, it's not because you have set a goal that life will stop for you. I know. What? Yes. Tell yourself this. It's not because I have a goal that life will stop for me. On the board right now, I just described to you, I just defined to you the loop, the shame loop, okay? The shame loop. And this is very important. Why is it important to know these things? So that you can be self-aware and so that you can be gentle, compassionate with yourself. I know there is a part of you that you keep repeating. There is a pattern that keeps showing up. And you're like, I'm done with this. But guess what? Hating yourself will not help you to get there. But rather, when you're hating yourself, you are stuck in the loop of the past. Okay? It's by compassion, gentleness, love. That's how you'll be able to break out of that loop. Now, let me go through the loop again. Motivation, you're motivated, you take action. Now, because you're planning, you did not take into consideration The fact that life is life and life will move. Now, this is where most people are. You leave, let me give you an example. Maybe you want to go to the gym every single day or 5 times in a week, right? Or 3 times, whatever times you wanted to go. But you live in a part of the world where it snows. Where I live, it's always snowing. So maybe you live in that part of the world. So when you're planning, you do not take into consideration the fact that life will move around. So when life moves around and you didn't show up, it doesn't mean that you are a failure, okay? It doesn't mean that you are a failure, but it's the fact that when you were planning, you were setting the goals, you do not take into consideration the reality of things. I'm going to give you an example. At the beginning of the year 2026, the current year that we are in, I told myself I was going to go live for 100 days on TikTok. That was my goal for 100 days because I knew that I needed to build momentum. So what did I do? So this is, follow me here. The end result is what? So that at the end of the 100 days, I will have a proof record that I went on live for 100 days. I'm going to come back to this story, but let's continue. So that I can have a track record that I show up for 100 days. Now, while I was planning, I did not take into consideration that I'm a mom of 3. Oh, by the way, when I said I was going to go on live for 100 days, I had a specific time. I said I was going to go on live at 4 a.m. I started day 1, motivation. Day 1. Because day 1, we are always fired up. We're telling ourselves, this time things are going to change. So we are fired up, okay? So what was motivation? Day 1, I showed up. Day 2, I showed up. Day 3, I started talking myself out of it. If this sounds familiar, put 1 in the chat, please. For those who are going to watch this on a replay, if this sounds familiar, say, wait, is she talking to me? But guess what? We don't judge on this platform. We don't judge here. I've lived it. So now I can easily laugh. Oh, yes, I see a 1. Hey, Steven, welcome to the live. So this is what it is. Motivation. So I plan without taking into consideration that I usually go to bed sometimes at midnight, 1 o'clock, okay? How is it possible for me to get up at 4, so if I'm going to go on live at 4, that means I have to wake up at, well, I'm a woman. Okay, so that means I have to wake up at 3 a.m. Is that doable? And also, before I go on live at 4, I'm a Christian. I want to connect with God because whatever I want to teach on my live, I don't just want to come here and say things because I know everyone that is stopping on my live, they are ready for transformation. So I have to be connected before I speak. I hear, then I speak. So that means I have to also spiritually be ready. Remember, I told you what do? I use biblical principles and neuroscience to help you unstuck, to help you step into your season of this is the moment, right? That's why you can be able to transform your life in 3 months or do more in 3 months than most people in 3 years. Anyway, so I did not take into consideration of all those facts. I just wanted to prove to myself that I can do it. That's where most of you are right now. You want to prove that you can do it. So we set goals without wisdom. But guess what? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Day 3, let me see. Hey. So guess what? Day 3, I woke up at 5 a.m. I was so disappointed. Remember the title, what I'm teaching you here, I lived it. Not only do I get a certification to help people that are repeating the pattern of self-sabotage, but it's a life I lived, okay? And so I know all the pattern of shame, the disappointment, everything here, I lived it. Okay, so now that's why I want to teach you this trick that has helped me and that has helped my clients as well. You need to break out of that place. Then because my brain was trained in not consistently showing up, or I trained my brain rather to keep starting over. Within that process, the brain has a language written in it. So the brain knew me, please, this is powerful. The brain knew me as somebody who only shows up for 3 days. Day 4, she'll talk herself out. So already when I started day 1 with motivation, physically I had the motivation, but mentally, emotionally, the motivation wasn't there. Mentally, emotionally, the same day I started 100%, the same day I stopped 100%. So most of you right now, you think you needed motivation, right? Wait, something is happening here. Okay, very good. So most of you right now, you think you needed motivation, right? So that's why you keep going to motivation. But motivation doesn't stick with a broken identity. That's what most people don't know. Motivation doesn't stick with a broken identity. Look at this right here. I'm going to come back to this, okay? Look at this right here. This is a cup. And this is a bottle. Please, I'm not an artist. Don't come and try to find what is she drawing. I'm telling you what I'm drawing. So please watch it. Watch with me what I'm drawing. So look at this right here. So this is a bottle of water. And there is water in the bottle. Okay, there is water in the bottle. And this is an empty cup. I'm thirsty. I want to drink water. What do? Naturally, I will pour the water into the cup. That's why the cup is there, okay? I want to drink from the cup. So before pouring the water into the cup, I'm like, okay, let me check if the cup is clean. You need to wash the cup. So when I was about to check the cup, there is a hole in the cup. This is the hole. There is a hole in the cup. So what will happen if I pour water into the cup? This is not a quiz. It's not a quiz, okay? What will happen if I end up pouring water into the cup? Tell me. If I pour water into the cup, what will happen? My cup has a hole in it. If I pour water into it, what will happen? Okay, what will happen if I pour water into the cup? We are like 1,000 likes. Okay, keep tapping, please. If I pour water in the cup, the water will spill. This is very important. It will leak. Yes, thank you. Out of the hole. Thank you. The water will leak out of the hole. Now, and I say, okay, maybe I like to repurpose, right? I don't want to waste, this beautiful cup, which might be maybe a gift from my mom or my dad. It's special. The cup is special. So what did I do? I said, okay, well, I'm going to repurpose the cup and just put maybe like rocks in it. So I have small pebbles, 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 and I put it in the cup, right? It will leak very good, yeah. And I put it in the cup. What will happen? Remember, the hole is still there in the cup. If I I start using this as a container to collect my beautiful pebbles, right? My children, they collect rocks, by the way. So if I put the pebbles or the rocks in the cup, what will happen? And I lift the cup, I'll still see the pebbles showing through the cup. That's why motivation doesn't stick with many people. Whether it's water or it's a rock, if the container that I'm putting it in has a hole, a part of it will show. It will leak out. It will show. It will reveal itself. This is why motivation doesn't stick with most people, because you did not train yourself to stay consistent on the path. You quit quick because the result is not showing. You can see the result. So you're quitting before the result. So your brain, remember when I told you, Your brain is wired around that. And that's how my brain was wired as well. So my brain was already wired that 3 days is my limits. And it was my limits. Okay. Now, you are going for motivation, but remember, motivation doesn't. Yes, we do. Right. But you go for motivation, but motivation doesn't stick to a broken identity. That's why the water was leaking. That's why motivation is leaking. Because that container is broken. That's why I tell you, you do not have motivation problem. You have identity problem. Identity restarting problem. Everything that we do comes from our identity. You know, unfortunately, we have some people that identify themselves as what? As a cat. Because once you tell yourself, this is what I am, you become it. Not physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you become it. And then we see it by the way you move. I've seen, you know, there are videos on YouTube where we can also watch the replay, by the way. Okay, I'm talking about where to go if you want to watch this in the replay because you want to catch that trick that helped me. So that's why we have people that identify as cat, as dog, and when they do imitate them, okay, they clone themselves to the way dogs and cats, you know, they react. So when you tell yourself, I am a table, at first we will not see it. But when you start, okay. But when you start acting like a table, we will know. That's why they play charade. You see that? Ooh. Thank you, God. That's why they play charade. When somebody's mimicking, we can tell what the person is. So most of you right now, the identity that is anchored in your nervous system is this. I am someone who always start over and over again. And when you're telling yourself that, it comes with fear. By the way, the opposite of love is not hate. If you know what the opposite of love is, please drop it in the chat. If you know what the opposite of love is, please drop it in the chat. If you know what the opposite of love is, drop it in the chat. What is the opposite of love? I think I gave it away. I'm like, it's not hate. People are going to say hate. But let me know. If you know what the opposite of love is, please drop it in the chat. What is the opposite of love? Let's see. What is YouTube saying? What is the opposite of love? What is the opposite of love? Let's put it in the chat. If you know what the opposite of love is, put it in the chat. So basically what I'm teaching you here is, or what I'm helping you to identify is how you can be, people will say delusional. It's something like that, but you're just, you are helping the brain to catch up with you. The brain hasn't caught up yet. So you're telling the brain, this is how we catch up. So please come along with me. That's what you're doing. Okay, so nobody type in the opposite of chat. If you're watching of love, if you're watching this on a replay, you can also type it in, okay? Now, the opposite of love is what? Is fear. That's why the Bible says love, perfect love casts out fear. Perfect love casts out fear. Why did I say this? Most of you right now, because you know so well this pattern of you, this part of you, when you're starting your Mondays, you're stuck in fear because the brain has already predicament. The brain already knew, predicted, yes, predicted. The brain already predicted what you're gonna become in the next 2 days, in the next 3 days. For some of you, it might be 1 week, 2 weeks. So because the brain has that part of you, when you're starting, you're already you are in this prediction where next week I'm going to stop. Next week I'm going to stop. And Job said, well, what I fear happened to me. It's not just wishing. I'm not teaching you wishing, but I'm telling you why it's so, because of what you're identifying yourself with. So right now you're identifying yourself with a quitter, as someone who quits, because of the track record. That's what the brain has about you. So that's what the brain will keep suggesting until you give in, and you're going to give in. You are going to give in. So do you see that it's not because you don't want it bad enough? No, you want it. You want to break out of that. But it's just that you're stuck right now. So now you're asking, how can we get unstuck? Before we get there, let me tell you a little bit more. Now, remember my example that I was giving you, that on day 3, I showed up at 5 o'clock, very, very disappointed in me. I was really disappointed. Like I said, I was going to wake up at 4. Okay, I said I was going to go on live at 4. So why am I now going to go on live at 5, at 6? Like, who does that? So you know what I did? If you laugh at me, you're going to be in trouble because I know you do the same thing too. So this is what I did. I pulled the cover. Do you think I was able to sleep? No, I wasn't able to. You don't sleep in that moment. You force yourself to sleep the pain away, the shame away. But you don't sleep. But why? Because while you're, yo, man, because while your eyes are closed, you are in your sleep, hammering yourself, torturing your brain, telling yourself, why do I keep doing this? This is how my life is going to end. Because that moment that you didn't show up, the brain took you to your past. And that's why I said most of you, even though you're physically present in 2026, mentally, emotionally, you're living in every year but 2026. You're repeating 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So you're stuck in those years, but you're not present here. So I pulled the cover on my head, thinking I was sleeping. I was there for 3 hours, 8 o'clock. Because for me not showing up at 4, that means I'm a failure. Remember what I told you? Break is not failure. A break is not failure. Okay? Let's type that in the chat. Say, a break is not failure. Your definition of things determine how you show up. Your definition of things determine how you come forward. A break is not failure. You setting goals doesn't mean life will wait for you. It's called life for a reason. If life stopped for you, it's no longer life. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If life stops for you, it's no longer life. It's called life because there is movement. Also, there will be a moment where life will come to promote you. But how do you get promoted? You get promoted when, in that moment when life challenges you, life is not happening against you. Most of you think life is happening against you. So you think these things are only happening to you. I used to think the same thing. I'm like, why is it that they say motivation and it looks like, and people they make career in motivation. So that means motivation works. But why is it that the one who is known as the motivational force, I can't figure it out? Then something is wrong with me. That's what I used to think. But when I discovered this, I was able to get more done in 3 months than most people in 3 years. So this trick that I'm sharing with you, once you start doing it, all the shame languages that you used to put on yourself, you're gonna start seeing yourself from a different angle. Your identity is shifting. Remember when I gave you the example of the people that they identify themselves as a dog. Whatever you identify yourself with, eventually we will start believing. That's why when people are telling you, do affirmation. I don't teach affirmation, by the way. I teach creative work. But that's what they're gonna tell you. Believe, and then you see it. Because at the beginning, you will tell us you are a table or charade. We will not understand. Because for our brain, a table doesn't walk. It's solid. A table doesn't talk. But when you keep portraying it, trying to convince us, or not, you don't even try to convince us. You're just being yourself. Identity, we don't convince, okay? While you're just being, that's why you are a human being. Being, not a human performing. Most of us right now, we are actors. We are just performing. That's why it becomes hard. So while you're trying to be that table, eventually we'll be like, wait, this person is really a table. A round table. I'm sorry. This is how I regulate, by the way. I make myself laugh. Okay. It is very important. Just like every different table that you want to be there. Oh, it's really a table. So that's how people were able to convince you that, they are what? They are a dog. You said, okay, because they've trained themselves. So I forced myself to go back. I was there for 3 till 8 o'clock. Then I woke up. Do you think I was going to go on that live that day with all that shame talk that I had? I'm like, what am I going to tell people? Here I am teaching about self-sabotage. What am I going to tell them? No. And I said, okay, let me take a shower. But I know if I don't show up, the language about me quitting every day 3 is going to be anchored. So, and I also know that whenever I take shower, I release that energy. I release anything that is not serving me. So I went ahead to take shower. Before I step into the bathtub, this is what I heard. It says this: insanity, I'm going to write it on the board. Insanity, okay. Insanity, not working. I'm going to go with the blue. Insanity is planning without wisdom. Insanity is planning without wisdom. And I know wisdom has spoken. And wisdom is what? Wisdom is God. God is wisdom. Okay? So I knew that God has spoken. When I heard that, that was the moment that I needed. It wasn't motivation. Wisdom is not motivation. That was the wake-up call that I needed. And as soon as I heard that, shame dropped right away. Because of course I was planning without wisdom. I wanted to prove that I can do it. So most people are proving that they can do something. You are setting your goals right now for yourself. You're setting the goals to prove to those who doubted that you could do something. You're proving to them that you could do it. And that's why your goals have become a jail for yourself. A goal that you set great by yourself has become a jail for you because you're stuck in this place of performance. Okay? So so I said, okay. But even before the day that I wasn't able to show up fully, you know what happened? Because when I went on the live that day, I'm like, people are not, I was new to TikTok. I'm like, wait, what is happening? What is happening? They're supposed to be tapping. Like, Brandon, you're supposed to be tapping. They're not tapping. So I interpreted that as I was a failure. I went to bed without regulating, taking that out of my body. Our body holds memory. Our body holds record. Everything you go through life throughout the day is recorded in your body. That's why regulation is very important. Okay? That's why regulation is very important. So right now, if you don't regulate, the same way you go to bed is the same way you're going to wake up in the morning. That's why most of you, you're not even looking forward to the new year because you know that the same mentality that you're carrying in 2026 is the same mentality that you're going to take into 2027. And guess what? If you're repeating mentalities, especially mentalities of what? Limiting beliefs, not knowing your identity, you are not just living the present year, but you're living the past year because you're repeating, recycling the things that you have in your mind. Okay? So before that day 3, I was already judging myself like, okay, maybe I'm doing something wrong. So I did not regulate. I went to bed. I woke up with that mindset of being a failure. So every restart trains the brain. Anytime that you start over, train the brain because the brain is collecting evidence. Every time you start over, the brain is collecting evidence. It's not collecting intentions, but evidence, not intention. The intention is I want to, but the brain is like, I have a proof record. I have a proof. I have a 20 years proof. And this proof keeps strengthening itself every single day. So what are you going to tell me now? So you need to identify yourself with someone else, something else. So sometimes, okay, let me get my charger. Okay, let's go. We're ready. We're ready. Very good. We are here. So the brain is collecting evidence, right? Not intention. So and the brain will tell you, at least for 35 years, I have evidence about you that you never showed up. So that's what I have about you. So what else are you gonna tell me now, right? So that's why you keep strengthening that part of you. So that's what the brain has about you. So your brain doesn't care that you meant well. It doesn't care that you said, okay, this time things are gonna change. Your brain tracks what you repeat, repetition. So it's very easy to start something and wire our brain around that. It's really easy. It is really easy. So your brain tracks what you repeat. And when you repeatedly stop, the brain says, this is who you are. So before you start with motivation, the brain has already dragged you to the end, which is the day that you stop. Now you stop with evidence, right? Now you stop with results, but you stop because that's your pattern. So your brain tracks what you repeat, and when you repeatedly stop, the brain says, this is who you are. This becomes your identity. And that is why people become consistent at stopping. People become consistent at quitting. I became consistent at stopping, at quitting. So I was known as a chronic starter, starting over and over and over again and dragging myself through life with shame. Okay? You are not inconsistent. You are just consistent at disappearing. Can I say that again? You are not inconsistent, but you are just consistent at disappearing. You are consistent at stopping. You are consistent at not trusting yourself. So most of you right now, you have a trust issue. You do not trust yourself. I remember one time in my coaching session, I asked one of my clients if they can boldly set a 3 months aside. Because what I do is most people that I work with, I help them, to get more done. And getting more done means what? Getting more done means that, promotion at your workplace. If you're a business owner, you're going to get more, sales, whatever business you have, because I have a track record of these things, right? So I told her, can you put 3 months aside? And this 3 months that you're putting aside will help you as if you're going to get more done in 3 months than most people in 3 years. By the way, this is why in the month of June 20th, I'm starting a group coaching. If you want to be part of this group coaching, type or send me a blueprint, and I'll send you the link that will get you the access to this coaching program. 3 months. You're going to get more done in 3 months than most people in 3 years. And I know what I'm talking about. Because once I wire my brain around this, around my identity, who I am, there was a quick process. Everything that was missed in 3 years, I was able to do it in 3 months. Not by myself, of course, with God. Please, who are we fooling here? Please. By the way, what I just said, how to get more done in 3 years, in 3 months than most people in 3 years, was a message that I heard when I was in my car, in between driving Uber, driving Lyft, doing DoorDash, Amazon, all those things. I was so tired. I'm like, wait. I was like, wait. This doesn't make sense. So I asked myself, how can I get more done in 3 months? And the answer, the follow-up question that came, I knew it was in me. The reason why I said, how can I get more done in 3 months was this. We were in September, okay? We were in September, So I'm like, I need to catch up. Because usually for some, if you have practiced self-sabotage a lot and you're aware of the end of you're approaching the end of the year, now we want to play catch up. That person is not there. You cannot. So even playing catch up, you will not be able to. You're going to be drained. That's why the loop keep reinforcing itself. Because every time you're trying to play catch up, the language is like, who are you fooling? Oh, then you keep falling. Catch up, you keep falling. You're tripping over yourself. You keep falling. And the shame spiral keep reinforcing itself. So in September, I said, how can I get more done in 3 months? Under the same breath, I heard this. How can I get done in 3 months with God than most people in 3 years? I know in the manifestation, people, they'll say how to manifest. I don't talk about manifestation. I talk about what? Co-creating. Okay? Whatever you want, whatever you desire for you to be fulfilled on this earth was already created. You are identifying yourself with the failure, the old you, but you are made in the image and the likeness of God. That is your identity. Now, within that identity, as the image and the light, is that Sherry? It is Sherry. Within that identity as the image and the likeness of the God, guess what? There is a blueprint. That blueprint is what? It is. That blueprint is your identity blueprint. Now, let me take you back to all the example that I gave you about the table. If you identify yourself as as table, at first when you start, we are not going to see it. We are not going to see it. But eventually, when you don't stop, you will see it. Though physically, you are not a table, but because you're moving as a table, that like the charade, we're going to eventually believe that that's who you are. So your identity is the image and the likeness of God. If you don't believe it, that means you're not aligned. Of course, Sherry is in the house. Welcome, my dear friend. Welcome, my dear friend. God bless you. Thank you so much. You see that? So when I started noticing this, my 3 months was like a 3 years, not just a 3 years. We're not talking about 3 years of failure, of regret, of calling yourself self-negative names, but a 3 years of feeling fulfilled. And that's what God does. He said, I will do what? I'll restore the years that the cankerworms. And what is the cankerworms? The moment that you wasted. He said he's going to restore those years. So when I heard, how can I get more done in 3 years, in 3 months than most people in 3 years? I'm like, yes, we are back in business with God. Okay? So please, if you feel like you have wasted your time, you feel like that for a reason. But once you're aligned, when you look back, you'll be like, wow, no year was wasted at all. So let's continue, right? So if you want to be part of this group coaching, which is doing more in 3 months, send me a blueprint or type blueprint in the chat, or even send me a DM that says blueprint, and I'll send you the LINK that will get you access to this. Thank you so much. That will get you access to this. I only want to work with few people, because the goal is what? 3 months into, 3 months and get more done as 3 years. I don't want to have many people. So this is for few people. Even when you send me blueprints, I have to sit with you and talk to see if you're the right person for this program. Okay? So now, you are consistent and not trusting yourself, and consistency works both ways. Okay? Consistency works both ways. And this is where most people don't get it. And this will free a lot of you, because that means that you're not broken. And this is what I'm trying to tell you. You are not broken, but you are trained. So now, let me teach you what changed everything for me. I know you've been waiting for that for a while now. Let me teach you what has been waiting for me. Oh, yes, Sherry. Make sure you claim your daily heart meets at the top, the orange one at the top. Sherry, am I a good student? Let me know. Left side. Yes. Okay, so let me show you. Let me teach you the trick, or let me help you to identify the trick that helped me. So this is the trick. When life happens, thank you very much. When life happens and I drop the ball, I do not tell myself I'm starting over. Let me show you something. Remember when I said I told myself I was going to go live for 100 days. In between the 100 days, I also told you I did not show up at 4 o'clock because the beginning was my goal was to show up at 4 o'clock. So when the Holy Spirit told me, when the wisdom of God said, insanity is planning without wisdom, when I came back, I was a new person because I met God. You know when? Oh my God. That's why when Moses went on the mountain, he met God. So his false identity melted in God. His face started shining because God is projected on his face. When I'm teaching people, when I'm working with my clients, I teach them about what? The reticular activating system. You can quicken that part of you to quicken your process. So in the 3 months of how to do more in 3 months than most people in 3 years, these are some of the things that I'm going to teach you. But while you're here, let me share this with you, just a tiny bit of it. Especially if your brain has been wired around starting, stopping, starting, stopping. And this is what I did, by the way. So the next time you start, or with my example, so when I came back and then I did not go on live at 4, I didn't come back defeated. No, I came back with wisdom. So within all that moment of me not showing up at 4, but I showed up at 8, I showed up at 10, all that, I acknowledge the effort that I put in. Acknowledge the effort. Celebrate yourself. Celebrate yourself. Most people are not trained to celebrate themselves. In one of my coaching sessions, my client, while I was coaching her, she's like, Coach, and she has a journal. She got a journal, one of my journals, right? So that's how she got on the coaching with me. So she got a journal. The journal is 30-day blueprint to stop self-sabotage. And so she got a journal. She was on day 6 of her showing up consistently. The brain is powerful, man. The brain is powerful. The brain is powerful. Nothing God creates has no power because every part of God is in those things. Okay? The brain is powerful. So she is on day 6 of her writing in the journal. That day was her day 6. In our coaching session, she's like, Coach, I think I want to go back and start over. She wasn't aware. And now this is how most people are not aware of the things that they are repeating. What they are repeating because you are not present. You become present when you're regulating your nervous system, intentionally creating a pause in your daily activity in order to connect to the body. So if you're moving through life without being present, yes. Papa, are you reading your book? Can you read it without the sound? Because it's going to play, they can't hear me. But can I have a hug, please?
Thank you.
Oh, man, no, I need to say thank you. I love you.
Thank you.
I'll see you soon, okay? I'm almost done. Okay, I'm here. So, right, if you was, you okay? My body. If it was before, all this, I used to see them as a moment of challenge. I tell you, right? All this, it feels like a challenging moment. I used to be hard on myself. So let's continue. So when, my client, day 6, she's like, I want to start over because I feel like I needed to write more the other days, but I didn't write. I'm like, you better not start over because the brain is getting uncomfortable. Her limit is day 6 from the past history, from the past track record. So already the brain is getting her ready to sabotage on that momentum because her goal is what? This is what makes most people fail. You are focused on the end results and you're missing the opportunities that will take you to the end results. especially for someone like you, if you have not been consistent in showing up, you celebrate every win. As little as it is, you celebrate it. So the brain, because she wants to prove that she can start something and finish it, that's why you always get it wrong. When you want to prove to yourself, when you want to prove to the world that you can start and finish, automatically you've already defeated the purpose of what? Showing up no matter what. Oh, thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate you. Showing up no matter what. So for those who are just joining, I'm teaching you how to train your brain to stay consistent, even if in the past you keep starting over, and this will help you. Okay. Now, so this is the thing. I told her you better not go in front of the mirror, do what I taught you to do. And because what you're doing in that moment, because day 6 was your limit, in that moment, true, tomorrow is your birthday. Tomorrow is your birthday, true. Tomorrow is your birthday. Happy early birthday to my dear friend, True. Welcome to the room. Okay, so is it tomorrow? Is the first? Is tomorrow the first? It is. No, tomorrow is not the first. Because mine is the 3rd. Sunday is the 3rd. Saturday is the 2nd. Saturday is the 2nd. Friday. Tomorrow is your birthday. Okay, let's come back. Let's come back to the place. So her brain already knew that day 6. Yes, I tell you tomorrow. Very good. So her brain was already ready for day 6 for her to sabotage. So what I told her is you're not. I know you wish you wrote more, but guess what? That wish now, we're gonna bring it into the now moment. So tonight, with what you wish you did in day 1 to day 5, you're gonna do it in day 6. So you're not gonna tell the brain that I'm starting over. The brain was just waiting for that cue. I said, no. What you do, tell your brain that yes. So this is another trick. When the brain recalls her that she didn't write much, this is how you partner with the brain. This is how you work with the brain. You start being grateful. You start being grateful. You tell the brain, thank you so much for reminding me. Now, the brain brought that suggestion. You see, our perception can shift everything. The brain brought that suggestion, thinking that to help her sabotage. But that suggestion could have been turned into this. Oh, I wish I did more because the fact that I showed up consistently for 6 days, I am learning more in how to write better or in how to pour more into the journal. You see that? So it's the understanding. If you're a victim, even a good morning will feel like an insult for you, a victim mentality. So what she did there, I taught her, so this is the pattern. Use this and your life is gonna transform, okay? The first one is what? When you drop the ball, okay, break is not failure. Keep telling yourself this. Break is not failure. Break is not failure. So when you drop the ball, you don't tell yourself, I'm going to start over, okay? Welcome. When you drop the ball, you don't tell yourself, I'm starting over, because what you tell yourself is what becomes your reality. It's what becomes the truth that the brain keeps repeating back to you. You drop the ball. Now, the second thing, you don't start over, okay? You do not start over. And you tell yourself, a pause is not a failure. Because your definition is what makes that part of you harden. Now, you go back, you celebrate every win that you've had on the road. Celebrate. Gratitude. You do that in front of the mirror. Okay? You can even exaggerate by saying thank you using your word, using your voice. Now, and this is the pattern that most people usually go through. You drop the ball, you tell yourself, I'm starting over. So it's the pattern is repeating. And that sentence is very dangerous because the brain hears, this is what it hears. I failed again. Not only is that language wired in your nervous system, it shows on your body. Whatever you're feeling inside reflects on your body. And that's why even your posture is not speaking confidence. Some of you, you go to interviews. Before they start the interview, they could already tell that you're not going to be an asset for them at that workplace. Because your posture is not showing leadership. You can be the one that has, and I train people like this, by the way, for interview, having a charisma, right? There's more to just having a degree. There's more to just, showing up and knowing what to say, the way you say it, and what do I mean by the way you say it? Before you put a word around it, it comes from the inside, from your identity. I used to have a work as a cybersecurity analyst. And when I went for that interview, I told myself where? I told God, it took people years to have this degree. Please do what you know what to do best. When I go to the interview, let the interview become like what? A chatting moment. And that's what I got. I didn't speak from nowhere. I spoke from my identity. I spoke from God, because I've heard testimonies of people that had miracle jobs. So why can't I? So when I asked, it was given. And that was a 6-figure job. So I do train people for their interview, because everything is identity. If you have an interview that you want to go to and you're afraid, I can train you for that. Okay? For the charisma that you need. If you have a job right now that you feel like you're an imposter, because if you start feeling like an imposter, you are on the way to be fired from your job. Guess what? Because every thought that you are having inside, people can sense it. People can read it on your face. So you can convince her that you're a rock. We will believe that you're a rock because you believed it first. The fact that we're believing that you are a table is because you birthed it. You believed it. It becomes your reality. So what can we do? That which you believe, we just align with that. So we work with that. So whenever you tell your brain that, I don't show up or I keep stopping, that's what your brain believes. The brain hears, yeah, we go again. I fail again. So the brain is like, now what? We fail again. So instead, what I recommend doing and what I've been doing, which is my trick that I promised that I was going to share with you tonight, is this. Hello, which is my trick that I said I was going to share with you, is this. I celebrate what I already did, which I put there, celebrate. I celebrate the small win. I celebrate what I already did. Because when I celebrate the win, the brain still sees continuity. Like the brain is like, wait, no. So you interrupted the pattern of the brain. So I celebrate what I already did. That's why the example of me showing up and then I show up at 8 o'clock, I was so proud of myself. I was so proud of myself, even though I did not wake up or I didn't do the live at 4. So when the brain sees that celebration, it sees it as what? As continuity, not failure. So this is important. If you work out for 10 days, okay? If you've been consistent for 10 days, this is very important. And you miss one day, for some people, if you be consistent for 10 days working out, and you miss 2 days, you meet 3 days, you meet 4 days, you're going to be like, oh my God, that's a lot. Now, that's a lot of days being missed, right? Your brain wants to tell you this. Stop. Stop. Stop because of what? The brain is interpreting that moment as you need to restart over. So your brain wants to say, we stopped. Even though you mean for the brain is we stopped. But what if instead you said, I showed up for 10 times? Woo! If you're struggling with the days, okay? If you are struggling with the days, find a better language because you want to trick yourself into success. People will say be delusional. They'll say be delulu. Now you see how I'm giving that what it is. They'll tell you be delusional, be delulu, but they don't tell you how. Okay? If your goal is to work out for 20 days, okay? If your goal is to work out for 20 days, but you work out for 10 days, please follow me here. Let's start over. If you have a goal that I'm gonna work out for a whole month, be delulu, right? Yeah. If your goal is to work out for 30 days, and then you work out for 10 days and you miss 4 in between, your brain wants to say, we stopped. The brain is not seeing the 10 days that you showed up because you're training it like that. So what the brain will keep saying is, we stopped. And when you say we stopped, we stopped, we stopped, you're forming shame. You're no longer giving credit to the 10 times that you showed up. You're forming shame. We stopped. We stopped. How could I? Why did I? Why? I keep doing this for 25 years now. Why? And here are my peers. They're going forward. They are moving forward, but I cannot even show up for myself. And on top of that, I'm a mom. What would my children say about me? We stop. We stop. We stop. That's what the brain keeps telling you. That's what the brain keeps playing. So you'd be like, okay, this time I'm going to start over. This time I'm not going to, I'm going to show up. I'm going to show up and show up. I will not fail myself. Instead, this is what you want to do. Please do it. Please do it. Please do it. Please. This will save your life. It will save you. Learn to celebrate you. Learn to celebrate you. Learn to celebrate you. Okay? Learn to celebrate you. So this is what you want to say. Tell yourself, I showed up for 10 times. I showed up 10 times. That matters. Now the brain stores, I am someone who shows up. So you do not see the times that you didn't show up, but the brain has filed, I am someone who show up. So you just change the narrative at the brain level. You just change the narrative, but you just did not just change the narrative because you believe it. Now it doesn't feel like you're lying. So you stop teaching the brain that missing equals what? Collapse. You stop teaching the brain that missing equals collapse. And this is why I say, do not restart. Return. Return. Okay? You don't restart, but you return. That one sentence, it changes everything. You do not restart, you return. You return. You return. It's very important. Okay? So that means that you're continuing. So when you say you restart, what it means is, I'm starting over. Yes, 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 yes. Papa. Okay. So that is very important. For those who are wondering what is happening, my son is home today. Okay? Yuri, I need some help if I continue. Come. Come. Careful, don't move the okay. I'll be done soon, okay? I know you. Can you give me water, please? Please. Okay, go get it. Careful. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you. Okay, so continuing is what is going to trick the brain that this person did not stop. So when you said you stop, it means that for you automatically, thank you, automatically it will be what? I'm starting over. So you do not restart, but you return. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you. Do you want to do the coloring? Okay. You see that? So you do not want to restart, but you want to return. And this means you're continuing. You're following through. Because most of you are at a chronic starter level. The brain doesn't see a follow through right now. Hello, hello, hello. The brain doesn't see a follow through. Okay? So you're following through. You are not failing. Okay? You are not that child that always say, okay, the child that is stuck in you. Why can't I show up? All those things that you believe. I'm sorry, no. Right? You see that? So that breaks the shame, that shame spiral, the shame loop. Here, you see here? That is the trick that will help you to break the shame loop. That is the trick that you need to break the shame loop. So this is it. If I come back to the board, I told you here, you start with motivation. You said you're going to do it for 30 days. You start with motivation. You took action. You drop. Usually what the brain will say is what? The brain will keep starting. We fail. We fail. We fail. We fail. No, this time you're not going to go around that route. What you want to do is, and when you start saying we fail, we fail, we fail, the shame spiral. But this time what we want to do is this. Motivation came, okay. Action, you took action for 10 days. You dropped the ball. You're like, wow, I was able to show up for 10 days. You celebrate that moment. So you trick the brain now to follow through with you. It's not failing. And this is what breaks the cycle. This is what breaks the shame. Shame is what turns a missed day into a missed month. Can I say that again? Shame is what turns a missed day into a missed month. Shame is what turns a missed day into a missed month. When I said I was going to show up for 100 days and on day 3, I showed up at 8 o'clock. If I was stuck in that place, that shame would have not, I wouldn't have even followed. I don't even know how many days I've been coming live now because I passed the 100 days already. And guess what? The beautiful thing is when I'm going on live, my children will be celebrating. They'll be like, Mommy, today is day 90. Today is day 50. I'm like, yes. Because when we are training our identity, you know, there are other people that are also watching with us. So shame is what turns a missed day into a missed month. Now, let me explain what happens in the brain. And this you need to know. Our self-awareness is what does what? It helps with the self-improvement, self-development. So this is what happens in the brain. The brain is always scanning for an evidence. It's always looking for evidence, right? So there's something called neuroplasticity. 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 By the way, a scripture that just came to mind. It's in the book of Proverbs. It says, when a man thinketh, as a man thinketh, so is he. And this confirms the fact that if you say, I'm a table, you start acting like a table, you become it. Okay? Okay, so let's go back to the science level of things. The brain is always scanning for identity evidence. There's something called neuroplasticity. Your brain wires itself around repetition. So if you want to see a change, a transformation, you start with something small and stick to it. So your brain wires itself around repetition. What you repeat becomes familiar. The habit that you repeated became your reality because that's what the brain knows. So what you repeat becomes familiar. What becomes familiar becomes your identity. What becomes familiar becomes your identity. As a man thinketh through repetition, so he is. And your nervous system is always asking for what is safe. If quitting becomes familiar, that means the nervous system thinks quitting is safe. I know you don't want to hear that, but that's what it is. Knowing these things is gonna help you. Remember, I'm going to in the month of June 27, I'm going to coach. There's a group coaching session that I'm having for 3 months. In these 3 months, you are going to get more done. It's not performance, okay? You're going to get more done than most people in 3 years. Because I'm going to train you around that identity that doesn't just show up with motivation, but you show up, you follow through. Even when you drop, there is a technique that I'm going to walk you through where even in that moment, you're still celebrating your wins. In that moment, because we are doing it with God, let me just tell you, by the way, because we're doing it with God, your identity is wired around that, and then you start seeing results. This is what I've done with my clients. You know, people that came as business owners, they came in my coaching session with a lot of different things that they want to work on. At the end, they started having business deals, right? They started having businesses, people that were promoted because they were aligned, positioned from where? From knowing who they are as the image and the likeness of God. Not only that, in the image and the likeness of God, there is a blueprint to your identity. That's the blueprint to your identity, specifically to one person that you're going to learn, and you're moving from that place. Okay? So now, the nervous system thinks that quitting is safe. Why does it think that? Because stopping protects you from disappointment. Stopping protect you from visibility, okay? Stopping protect you from failure. Stopping protect you from being judged. And so being inconsistent in doing all these things, you believe that's who you are. It is protection. And once you understand that, you stop hating yourself. Most of you right now, you're hating yourself. I know there's a part of you that you don't like. You don't like showing up and stopping. But hating yourself will not lead you to the result that you want. The opposite of love is fear. You're hating yourself because you're afraid that you keep repeating the same pattern over and over again. But once you start loving yourself, love will open your eyes to understand that, okay, this person is wired a different way. Even though we are the image and the likeness of God, every identity carries its own blueprint. What is the blueprint of that person? What is your blueprint? But things like this will not be revealed to you if you're not loving yourself. It's in that place of loving. What is love? Love is when you surrender to God, because God is love. So inconsistency comes from where? So it's no longer like laziness. It is protecting you. Your nervous system is protecting you. And this is what you need to know so that you don't keep hating on yourself and you start retraining yourself. Okay? And this is why identity matters. God is known as who? The Alpha and Omega. Welcome to class. If this is your first time being on my live, my name is Shafi. I am a certified identity coach and nervous system research specialist. What I do is I help you to stop sabotaging on yourself so that you can build your self-trust. And also, I have helped people in 3 months to do more than most people in 3 years. So if you're in a place right now, you feel like you are constantly repeating patterns of failure, patterns of self-sabotage, not being consistent with your goals, you have all these dreams, you have bought all the courses to start, digital product or whatever business you have, and you are just plateau at the same part. You want to be part of the group coaching. I'm hosting a group coaching for 3 months. In that group coaching, a lot of people are going to come out and they're going to have results that they were supposed to have 3 years ago. They're going to have those results. The reason is I'm not doing it by myself. I'm doing this with God. I am my own proof, right? My own life proof. And also I have coached people who also have the same result. Okay. Now, in my sessions, in my live, on my videos, this is the principle that I use. Biblical principle, God, biblical principle, and neuroscience fact. Science and God, they are not against each other. Science reveals a part of God that most people would not know if they were moving by themselves. Science reveals the sovereignty of God. Okay? For instance, when you're looking at a tree, the tree didn't just come from nowhere. The tree came from the seed. You see the beauty of it. So if you're just seeing just the tree, that means you already lost the part of the seed. Okay? So what is taking you to there? Science shows you the evidence. But as you keep asking, you are growing in wisdom, but you're returning back to your source. I don't know if this ever happened to you as a child, but when I was a child, one day I was, in back home, I was looking into the sky. It was evening, right? I was looking into the sky and I was looking at the stars. While I was looking at the stars, I started asking, I think I was 5 years old that time. I started asking, who created the heaven? For me, heaven is the sky at that age. Then I heard back, God. I said, okay. Then, no, I said, who created the heaven? Okay, I heard God. Then I said, who created? So everything that I could see in the sky, so who created the star? God. I said, okay. Then who created God? Because there has to be a beginning. So that's what science does. It shows you the evidence of things, right? Okay. Now that evidence, you're asking, okay, then who? How? Who? how, who, how, who, how, then you end up being at the beginning of thing. In the beginning was what? Okay, let's come back. Let's come back. So this is what you're gonna, when you come on my live, on my videos, I take you to your identity, remind you of your identity. Now, if we are made in the image and the likeness of God, that means that we have the attributes of God in us. Okay? And God is known as the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. That is who God is known for. That's one of his, his attributes. Right? So God is known as the beginning and the end. So identity comes first because identity creates behavior. So if you believe that you're someone who never followed through, but guess what? The word says that we are the image and the likeness of God, and God is the Alpha and Omega. Automatically, you shouldn't just have the beginning, but you should have the finisher, the end in you. It says he is the author, okay, the beginning and the end, the author and the finisher of what? So that's what it is. So if you identify yourself as God, which you are the image and the likeness of God, that means God being the Alpha and Omega, and please don't say the Alpha as, the way you want to think it. When you come to the part that, okay, God has the beginning and he has the end, then you shouldn't struggle with the fact that you are being inconsistent. You shouldn't struggle with that. So what you're doing is you're telling the brain to scan the track record of the one that has already shown, been consistent, showing up and following through. Okay? So the brain believes that you never follow through because of your track record. What about now scanning the other track record that he never scanned? So the Alpha and Omega. So he is Alpha, meaning the beginning, the source, the beginning, okay? And Omega, the end. So he saw the end from the beginning, okay? The end. You are made after his image, so you should have this in you as well. So why is it that you're only stuck at this level, at the beginning level, meaning the starter level, you only start? So now the question should be, okay, if I have this attribute in me, which you do have, what is the blueprint to be able to become the Omega? Not as what you think, okay? What you're asking yourself is, why is it that I'm only stuck at one level, which is the starter level, a chronic starter, but why is it that I'm not able to follow through? So what is the science behind this? Most of you're using a human explanation to solve your problem. Life is spiritual. There is more to what you don't know yet. So our brain behaves. Thank you for the repost. Thank you so much. True. Thank you. So our brain behaves accordingly to what we told it to believe in. Okay? So whatever you train your brain around becomes your reality. So when you say, I'm someone who returns, now the brain has a new identity to follow. Because we have a track record. What does it say? It said God comes for the one. He leaves the 99 and comes for the one. So everything that I'm saying is in the identity of God. He said, I'll pursue you. I'll always come after you. He never stops. He never stops. He never stops. He never stops. That is your identity blueprint. That is what is wired in you. That is what is written in you. But the brain is trying so hard to wire around that because the brain is believing that this is your identity. Yes, baby. Well, what do you want to cut about? I need to do that for you. Okay, I'm almost done. Please wait for, we don't have a lemon. Okay, I'm almost done.
Mommy, I'm using the kid knife.
The kid knife?
Yeah.
Give me a moment. I still need to see it. Okay. I love you, baby. I'm almost done. Okay. So that's what it is. Thank you for the share, True. I appreciate you. You see that? So everything that we're saying, you need to start believing the attributes of God as your attribute because you are his image and his likeness. And this is what I'm going to teach you in the 3 months. This is what I'm going to teach you in the 3 months of the group coaching. If you want to take advantage of this group coaching, because it's 3 months, we're going to end in what? In August. You have another 3 months to prepare yourself for the year 2027. Otherwise, if you don't do this, you're going to keep repeating your yes over and over again. Okay? This is very important. This is very important. Now, let me ask you, how often do you meet? Once, we're gonna bi-weekly. And by the way, bi-weekly, we're gonna meet. And by the way, there is a bonus for those who get who sign up right away. The bonus comes with one-on-one coaching. So bi-weekly with the whole group and one-on-one coaching. Yeah, bi-weekly for the whole group and one-on-one coaching. Okay, so let me ask you. I'm gonna be done soon because my son needs me. Tell me honestly. And remember, on this channel, on this live, if you want to watch this on the replay, by the way, you can go on the big app. If you know what I'm talking about, please put it in the chat. The red big app where there is replay. So you put in Reset with Coach Sheffy. Reset with Coach Sheffy. So now let me ask you, and we don't judge here. We do not judge here. What do you restart the most? What do you restart the most? Is it your health? So what I mean by health is also like gym and all that. Do you restart your health? Is it your business? Is it what? Your healing? What is that part of you that you feel like you restart the most? Is it confidence? Is it your relationship with your children, with your spouse, with your anything? Tell me in the comments if you're watching this on a replay. Okay, tell me now. Put it in. Now. Very good. Let's see them coming in. Very good. Thank you. Yes. Good. Now, this is why I teach identity. This is why I help you to regulate, tied to confidence. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. This is why I teach identity. This is why I see the comments coming in. Good job. Yes. This is why I help you to reset your nervous system. I teach about nervous system reset because your behavior doesn't change permanently until your identity changes. Career, yes, I hear you, true, right? Confidence, career, yes, business for some people, good job, right? So this is why my work is about identity and nervous system reset. Because your behavior doesn't change permanently until your identity shifts, until your identity changes. That's why I've created a framework. And this is some of the things that I'm going to walk you through. I'm not making this to a whole group of people, but there are a selected few. That's why we meet once every 2 weeks. And then within that once every 2 weeks, you're going to have the resources that you need. Some people even find the results before the end of the whole 3 months. And after that, we also have a one-on-one session, okay? Because most people are trying to fix their behavior. Now, what I do is this. I help rebuild who you are underneath that behavior. Everyone, the link. Yeah, send me blueprint. Send me blueprints. Good job. Oh my God, you are hired. Okay. Very good. So this is not motivation coaching. This is identity reconstruction. Partnering with God so that you can find your blueprint. Most of you right now, you're living the life that your parent told you to live. Yesterday, I was watching this video on IG, and I think it's a letter that the pastor was reading, and it talked about how the kids were talking about, dear parents, thank you for raising someone that you don't know. I was in that house, things happened to me, but you never knew. You were providing for a body, but not for my identity, something like that. Okay, so Identity is very important. Most of you right now, the career choices that you made, it's not even for you. Maybe you're an artist, but you don't want to go after that because your parents will not be happy. So this is identity reconstruction. And when identity changes, consistency becomes natural. I once heard people say that, I don't even want to, my pastor will say, I don't feel like showing up, but I have to. Because of what? The identity or the consistency became natural. Consistency became natural. Now, any question? Any question? So if what I'm saying is hitting you deeply in this moment, even while you're watching this on the replay, then the chances are you don't need another live from me, because every time I show up, I take you deeper, right? But you don't need another video. You need a blueprint, your blueprint. You need your blueprint. You need someone to help you identify why you keep restarting, what pattern is running your life, where shame is looping you, what identity your brain is protecting. That's what I'm going to help you in this next 3 months, the 3 months coaching container. This is where we stop guessing. We identify the roots. And after the roots, I'll take you to the seed, because the roots came from the seed. The roots came from the seed. The roots came from the seed. I'm going to take you to the roots, and then we identify the seed. Most people will tell you the roots. Yes, what about the seed? The seed died, and from the seed, the death of the seed, that's where the roots came out. So what was planted there and then died in you? You see that? So we're going to get past the roots and get to the seed. You rebuild your self-trust. You regulate the nervous system. You create consistency from identity. Okay? So if you want to be part of this 3 months coaching session, group coaching session, how to do more in 3 months than most people in 3 years, not only financially, mentally, emotionally, relationship, and all these things. You don't want to miss this opportunity. DM Blueprint, and I'll send you the link. I'll send you the link to do so, okay? And I'll send you the next step because you want to be part of this. You do not need any restart, but this is what it is. I'm going to wait for 2 minutes. And for those who are going to watch this on a replay, thank you so much for watching this. Stay tuned for more video. Coach, I need, what is that? Let me read this. Somebody gave me a gift. Hanging light. Thank you so much. Coach, I need God to work in, oh my goodness. Okay, no worries. Thank you so much, Sherry. You are amazing. Thank you for monitoring the chat. Thank you for motivating. Light. Thank you. Merci beaucoup. Merci. Okay, thank you, Sherry, for helping me on the other side, welcoming people and all those things. Thank you to everybody. For those who are watching on IG, I appreciate you all. You know what to do. Comment Blueprint on this video. For the rewatch people, comment video on the video, and I'll send you if you're just ready to stop, starting over, and rebuild your identity, your self-trust, you know what to do. Okay, Blueprint. Yes, that's what's up. I'll send you the link to get to it. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Have a one. Okay, no, I need to greet people before I leave. Okay. True. Tomorrow is your birthday. What are you doing? What will you be doing? Okay. Thank you for being here, for spending part of your day with me. DC, welcome. And thank you so much. Tatiko, thank you. Thank you. Fido Sticks, thank you for being in the house. Elsa, thank you. User 81, thank you for being here. I appreciate you all. Have a wonderful day. And remember, you matter. Happy birthday, True. See, True, did you see that? Happy birthday, True. May God bless you and give you abundance in your career. Amen. Fido, thank you for the like. I appreciate you all for tapping. Have a wonderful day. Bye, everybody. Okay, let's get off. Okay, please stop. Okay, let's see. To my YouTube people, let's turn this off. Thank you so much for staying till the end. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.